How to define your life purpose. Let's start by debunking the main myth about purpose. People often spread the idea that once you find your life purpose, everything is sorted out. Difficulties disappear, obstacles and doubts that used to exist are gone. Moreover, it's widely believed that your purpose remains the same throughout your entire life. Folks, these two notions couldn't be further from reality. First, your life purpose can change as the years go by, as you take on different roles and functions in your life. A very practical example is that teenager or young adult who, at the beginning of their career, has a certain purpose and a strong desire to change this or that. As the years pass and they come into contact with different contexts and cultural realities, their sense of purpose may also change. The person at 20 or 30 years old may not necessarily have the same purpose when they are 70, 80, or 90 years old. This is a natural and healthy part of life, that your purpose changes over the years. Furthermore, your purpose won't shield you from difficulties and adversities that may arise. It will help us experience and overcome these obstacles and challenges. It's like when we visualize that goal, that guiding star we have. Difficulties and hardships do become a part of something greater. When we have something to look forward to, we can see meaning in the temporary pain we're experiencing. Through these sacrifices, these temporary difficulties we face for a greater purpose, it becomes worth it to develop that purpose. So, let me start here with a very practical tip today. Purpose isn't something you just take, receive, or acquire, and then it's there. How do we get closer to our purpose? The first step is to grab a piece of paper, a pen, or be it your computer. Write down the names of the people who are important to you today. In this list, you'll have close people, family, some friends, your relationships. Maybe you have colleagues at work, college buddies, and so on. Put them on this list, people who are important to you, not because you wish they were important, but because they are important today. It's not about how you want it to be or how you'd like it to be, but who is important to you today. And the second point I want you to write down is then today. What are the activities? What are the environments, the contexts that are important to you today? Be careful with those common sense answers. Be very careful with that. Oh, my job, it's important to me. Is it really important to you? Here, it's not about putting down what you wish it to be. Is what other people expect it to be really what matters to you? Write down what the contexts of the activities you dedicate yourself to today are. Maybe you dedicate yourself too little. Would you like to dedicate more? Remember, it's not about what you'd like, it's about what it is for you today. You've just finished jotting down who and what is important to you. And purpose begins to encompass all of this. In other words, those people you've written down, how much have you been dedicating yourself to them day in and day out, week after week, to maintain and strengthen a relationship with them? And what do these people have in common with you or with each other? What kind of impact have you had on their lives? What kind of impact have they had on your life in relation to the activities and environments? What do these activities mean to me? How much have I devoted myself in these past weeks, in these last days? What is the impact generated in my daily life? What impact do I have on the day-to-day of these contexts and environments? When we begin to look at what is important to us, we can then recognize whether our routines, our weeks, are organized and anchored in a way that allows us to truly dedicate ourselves to these people and activities. And if today we don't dedicate as much as we'd like, we can start evaluating how to change that. But hold on, there's a person I noticed I haven't talked to in a while. What could we do to reconnect? What could we do to restore or strengthen that relationship? Or maybe there's an area of your life that you haven't been dedicating as much to as you'd like, but it's important for you to take care of your health, and it's been quite a while, maybe even years, since you scheduled a checkup. Wouldn't it be the right time to do something about it? When people think about purpose, it's common for them to imagine something very abstract, philosophical, ethereal, and not very practical. However, Eureka understands that purpose is something we create in our day-to-day lives. It's what we bring differently to a job. It's what we bring differently to a relationship. It's what we contribute to our world, the contribution we can make. It can indeed be a very positive contribution, one that aligns with our purpose. But also, for whatever reason, whether it's the daily grind, fatigue, or not taking the time to reflect on all of this, sometimes, the impact is the mark we're leaving on the world. It's not always the mark we wish to leave. I'm not here saying that you have to abandon your routine, your day, your history, your life, and go off to create a company, an NGO, an institution. It's not about that. Be very careful about the idea that you have to make a radical change sometimes. Not necessarily. I don't think it's quite like that. It's about reclaiming the person you want to be. Maybe you want to be more affectionate with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Maybe you want to be a more studious person, study certain aspects more. What can we do then to help you connect more with the things that are important to you? What's in the way? What's the obstacle? Because the moment we set that course, the moment we have our purpose a bit more defined, the direction we're heading in, our daily lives make a lot more sense. So that obstacle, that adversity that arises, we start to recognize it as an adversity, but it's an adversity in the midst of a whole, among other stimuli, other things happening that are in the direction of this path. So it's that person who really wants to study a specific topic, feels tired on that day, but still, even with that fatigue, goes ahead and dedicates 5 minutes of the day to learn more about gastronomy or is learning a new language. This person commits not because it's become easy for them, but because that commitment has acquired meaning. The discomfort they're feeling has gained some purpose. This is part of something bigger. I want to wrap up these tips I shared with you by trying to bring all of us a little more down to earth. What are we doing today that contributes to our day? What are we doing to leave a mark that's about us? It's not the mark our family or friends would want us to leave. It's the mark it matters who you are and not what others would want you to leave behind. I ask you, how much have you been able to generate, create, and maintain purpose in your life today? All these existential questions, future plans, reflections on life are always welcome in therapy sessions. Many people end up preferring to talk about this with a psychologist, much more than with friends or family, because we know that in therapy, there's a safe, welcoming space, free from judgment, where we can work on any issue that comes up. If you believe that it would be beneficial to discuss this more with a therapist today, don't put it off. Schedule a conversation with a psychologist. The link to Eureka's therapy is here in the video description. Big hug. I hope you enjoyed the reflection tips we shared here today, and see you next time.